directly at me. So everybody can look around your shoulders and around your arms.
No, look at you.
Oh.
So obviously, it puts a stick figure camera on there. So I am the stick man, am I correct?
You are.
So I should have 3 points for my face on there.
You do.
Okay, the reason why is because this is a depth perception camera. It will put those dots and lines on anything that is in front of something else. My face has depth. I have 2 eyes and a nose, 3 dots. That's why they're there. So if I get out of the frame, it's probably going to put the lines over top of that bicycle behind me because it's in front of the building. This camera I only bring it out for my larger groups like this because I use a lot of it for debunking. The reason why is because the sensitivity is turned way down. When we do find something, and if you do find another anomaly in there that's not one of us or another person, ask that specific person to do something like raise their right hand. If you get that kind of reaction, that's my stamp of approval. Okay. So now if you do find that, I'm still going to take a screenshot of it to make sure there wasn't something that matches the outline in the background. And you guys will have both screenshots by me brightening it up as well. So you have a little red circle that's spinning around on your screen. That's your start and stop button. It's recording right now just so people know how to watch it. So go ahead and hit that stop button. Here's how this space will work. So that was a 6.1. So I will give you the history of why we're here, and then we're going to spread out. I'll do about 2 to 3 round robins with everybody, take a lot of notes, and regroup us to give you the answers. The reason why I say it like that is because this is where I start withholding information on purpose. I will not be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. You will get the answers from your communicators. So if you don't have one, be near one if you want to see how that actually works. So what is this place? It's an old parking lot with a smelly dumpster in the corner. Congrats, you made it. Told you, take you guys to weird spots. This place used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. It's probably one of the most haunted places I've ever been. And to be quite honest, I could probably write a book on all of the evidence that I've ever caught here. So, Keegan, not to sound like a jerk on my end, try to be respectful while we're here. So, like you joking around like that, like where's the ghost kind of stuff, all activity will stop. She will not interact with us at all. It's kind of how this space works. So, sorry, I didn't mean to be a bad dad on that part, but
no,
I want you guys to find activity. This place used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Eliza and Charles, who the heck were these people? They had a son named Charles, they had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks, in case you guys weren't paying attention. That's why we look for secondary clues, by the way, because in the event that the name Charles is heard, I need to know which one it is so I know how to address them. Moving on, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. It's a big deal for us, but I hate politics, we're gonna move on. If I don't bring it up, they will do it for me in a nasty manner coming out of a spirit box, like where is my recognition kind of thing. So I just give it to them and we move on. We're gonna discuss Eliza instead. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it slowly because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she married him, don't expect numbers from the colonial times of when girls got married at like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards because the husband was over double her age when they married. It was kind of a creepy age gap then, there's a creepy age gap now. That's my opinion, take it for what it's worth, we'll talk about the number later. Moving on, she married him because her father was over in England. Dad thinks he's dying over there, and he wants to bring all of his children home so he can see them. And Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put right here and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that specific year to earn a green card. We are not a country yet, there's no such thing. She married him out of love. This is a true love story. There's nothing horrific about this location. Again, it is a place of respect, you'll see why in just a moment. But anyway, she was correct. Dad didn't die right away over there in England, and instead he starts sending her gifts to where you're standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant, makes blue dye, makes your blue jeans blue. A lot of you guys have it on right now because that's what we use it for. When she got her seeds, no idea what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going. And then she learned how to make the dye right here, moved it to a cash crop, and got a hold of her father to tell him their rice plantation prices were going downhill. They were going to make a killing with the indigo, and they did. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times, something absolutely unheard of. So that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let us get into the weird stuff because that's why you guys showed up. With every communicator, I'm going to assign questions. You can either say these things out loud or you can just focus on them. I usually just call them focus questions. I usually assign them based off of what type of communicator you have, but if you wanted to cherry pick off of somebody else's questions, by all means do so. Remember, those answers can go anywhere. We have 3 spirit boxes, 1 word generator, 3 cameras, and my voice recorder. Those answers can come up on any one of those devices. The only one that can't get communication is Dad. So, but he's going to know exactly what's going on because he has the meter of where they might actually be. So let's kind of go around the horn. So Ellie Rose and Laura, you guys have the similar type of spirit box, so you guys will have the same set of questions to focus on. You're going to focus on Eliza's death. The things that we get answers to the most about her death are her age when she died, how she died, where she's buried, and which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So, age, how, where, president. Those are the 4 easiest ones out of your end. Angela, with yours is almost like a capture. It's like a catch-all. So if the answer doesn't go to one of the 3 major spirit boxes, they usually go to you on that device. But I'm going to have you focus on which Eliza we're dealing with. Reason why. The one I just told you about is the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. Kind of a jerk. So his first wife, Eliza, died. 5 months later, he marries the second one. But ironically, they both have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. So they both have the same set of initials, ELP. Find out what the L stands for, we'll know which Eliza we're dealing with. And last but not least, Chloe. Again, if I got the names down,
Yeah.
look at me. So your spirit box only gives us like 1 to 2 syllables at a time. So the mansion's not here anymore. You're going to figure out what happened to it by getting the answer. And if you get the what, we often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of the tragedy of what happened to the mansion. There's a clue. It's a tragedy. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Nobody just tore it down. So those numbers are very, very specific. So remember, names, nouns, and numbers are what everybody's looking for. So Chris, did we get any other numbers besides that 6.1?
Not yet, no.
Okay, cameras are all rolling.
Could you actually fix the lighting? Cause it
Yes.
pushed it off of it.
So when you close the lid like you did,
close it off.
there's 2 rows of buttons.
39.5.
9?
39.5.
39.5. Your new baseline is 25. Just tell me everything above 25. It's that button right there. It's
Got
the
it.
tallest one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
So all of a sudden, I was on it, and it got all red and crazy, and it said finance, and then it said, do you want to walk again?
I'm gonna walk with Dad.
You want to find out how
Woo! Oh. I think that's just the tree.
little chipped off.
Yeah. I think that's just the
Authorize
window.
its hand.
What? Raise your hand. Yeah, it's not moving. Wait, don't leave me, Dad.
I'm going the one with color. 26.
Okay, say it.
29.
I don't know if he could hear you. Oh? Dad, I don't like that you're walking away from me. Okay, so now my feet are wet. I did not like that. I wasn't paying attention. No. Oh. Okay, now there's something behind you. Can you raise your hand? Oh, it went away. It went away. It's like right there. But
Go
it,
up that way a little bit.
I don't want to.
No, with you. Right there.
But I think it might just be the in between, see?
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand, please.
Can you raise your hand?
I think that's just. Huh? Oh, wait. Can you raise your hand? Not you. Oh, stay with me.
Okay, do you want to help me?
Yes.
I heard date.
Date.
What date did the mansion fall down? 19? No.
We got date.
It just, yeah.
Okay. Any numbers?
No,
Not yet.
Not yet. We asked, but have not received any numbers.
I'm gonna skip it here so we can pick up together.
Anything above that 25?
Oh? Oh? I think it's getting the relationship between those things, but it looks a lot closer.
What tragedy caused the mansion to fall? I heard property house burned down. Okay, and he said that's what happened. Was there a fire?
No, we can't yet use yes or no questions.
What started the fire at the mansion? I heard a 6.
It's giving you like pasta. Can you raise your hand? Raise your hand. Por favor.
What was the guy's name again?
Did you get an 8?
Can you raise your hand? I think that's the sign. It just raised its hand.
I know.
Can you raise your hand again, please?
Ask for a specific hand.
Your left hand. Your left, my right. That was the same hand.
What year did the mansion burn down?
I don't know if that's just a sign though.
Could just be the sign.
What year did the mansion burn down?
Wait, let me.
This picks up on signs, right? Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
will like.
Signs
Okay,
and
okay.
trees are not your friend. The reason
Yeah.
why all those leaves are in front of another leaf.
Yeah.
So it's always going to put a hangman in the tree.
Okay, yeah, because it keeps like
It
over
raised
here
its-
doing stuff.
Yeah. Chloe, anything else coming out of there? Chloe, anything else coming out of there?
Not really.
Nothing that you've heard?
No.
Chris, anything from your meter?
Yeah, no. 13 points now.
We'll give this one like another minute. Things seem to have slowed down.
U.S. What did you say? Viewers of the world?
It said US. It just said US.
Ask it some questions. Ask her some questions. It said ask. I think it said ask.
Pretty vague.
I stepped in a puddle, Mommy.
Got a lot of activity right here. Precisely. Precisely what?
They're listening to us.
Precisely what? Installation. Precisely.
Angela, any words?
I just got precisely and knee.
Me?
Knee. And Ethan.
Ethan showed up here 2 minutes ago too. I don't really know what that is. I looked into it. But knee is
Maybe
good.
Ethan, did she have any siblings?
She did.
Of opposing?
No, somebody was actually injured.
Okay.
And I believe it was only Rose that heard the phrase "to have been injured."
For Ethan?
No. I have told you. Yes, the last question.
Yes.
What?
Eliza, can you confirm one last time by using the word Charles?
It's interesting the other pieces that are showing up. I think we're going to call it on this one on a good note. We're going to move right back to where we started. All right, everybody. let's
I've
wrap
lost
this one up.
all,
Let's go
like,
back to where we
basically
started.
went to like neuro.
Come back again. All right, cameras, if you have one, go ahead and hit those stop. Hit those record buttons. Get them up and running. Corey, remember how to get back? Yep. Okay.
The right away, I got the one,
Okay.
111, killing, limousine, the weasel, the idea.
I heard a like a dun dun dun.
We're using a bunch of electronics.
Oh.
I'm gonna skip one thing that I heard. California,
What's the one thing you heard?
that I'm skipping.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Oh.
Romantic.
You don't know that the name Donald isn't relevant here.
That's true.
He's
That's
not.
true.
But I'm with you. I'm gonna skip it.
Romantic.
Okay.
Listeners. School. 417. Presents. As in giving presents. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Stone allegations. That's what I got.
I got I don't blame you. Hell. 20th Street. What did I do? He calls. A long time. Wrong things. To lose or not to lose. And then I got 27 and 25.
Words.
I
got Bringham, Foot, Frontier, Soon, Bottom, Gagging, and Pasta.
Also,
Pasta.
so Keegan, you obviously weren't listening to your spirit box along the way here, I'm guessing. Okay. All right, that's okay. That's other people walking by.
I can hear it.
I just notice how you're kind of like giraffed up a little bit, like where's that coming from? Here's how this one will work. Cameras, if you want to get them recording, just keep in mind regular visitors pass through here too. So if somebody's coming by, no matter who it is, just point the camera at your feet. We will all understand that footage. You don't necessarily need to stop it, but you get the point. Let's talk about why we're here. If you guys want to continue listening to your spirit boxes, it's up to you, and ignore me. That's okay. It's your night. You guys do this however you want to. But this is Philadelphia Alley. So this used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. I say some of the duels because dueling was illegal, and they had to find hiding spots. This just happened to be one of those hiding spots. Every ghost tour comes down here. It doesn't look like that now because we're the only ones here, but there's 338 ghost tours in Charleston. We all come here. This guy was following me on my old routes because we would always be near one of his places of raised emotion, so I just kept it in. So we continue to get things. You'll see why as we go through. Not to mention, we get to do this fun experiment that Keegan's like being tortured with. So, by the way, when we're done, if you guys all want to see what that thing sounds like, we'll pass around the headphones. Because again, it is super badass in there. And he's like, yep, it's pretty wild. Because you can hear everything. Let's get into the duel. Well, let's get into the story. A doctor moves here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. If the people with spirit boxes hear the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, or it shows up on the recording, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name. We get it all the time. I just like to point it out. I know it sounds very nonchalant of me, but again, I see all the patterns. Moving on. Doctor moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and basically she has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd, her boyfriend, is after her money. So he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He comes here to Charleston to prove that he's not. On his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. That's like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world. So sorry if anybody's taking an Uber back. But again, I always like to point it out, especially when we have younger people here, because not everybody knows what a coachman is. Moving on. Somebody was walking by, seeing what was about to happen to the newcomer. That person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. Do Ralph's initials sound familiar to anything else I've said since we've been here? Where's the doctor from? Rhode Island. So they have the same set of initials. We were getting the letters RI all the time on regular spirit boxes, so I bought another device. That device basically works like a digital Ouija board. Anytime there's an EMF, like Chris's device, it gives us letters instead of actual numbers in a readout. We've had RI, but only around Ralph's name. We're not using that device tonight because somebody dropped it and I tried to fix it and broke it even further. So yeah, I'm waiting to get a new one. Moving on. Ralph tells the doctor, hey man, I know this guy, the coachman. He's gonna try to kill you. I got friends at 59 Church Street that will rent you a room. Doc took him up on that offer, and the gentleman became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He started his medical practice, and he's doing pretty well. Well, Amanda got wind of this up in Rhode Island, and she sent a letter down saying she was coming down so they could be married here. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is why I hate the story. Every haunted city you will ever visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. I'm going to point out two things. First off, that's exactly why we're using this voice recorder. We're listening for whistles. Secondly, who had the word listeners that showed up out of your... So, again, that's why we're here. We are the listeners at this point. It is always this quiet down here. So why would all the ghost tours come to Duelers Alley to tell you guys about a doctor? Let's get into the duel. You got something going on there?
It says he bad.
It's just bad grammar.
Yeah. Before that, though, it said constraint, and then it went really red and said suspicious.
Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He got better seats. So on their way home from seeing Richard III one night, they're arguing over the actress they just saw. Doc thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. She's not here yet. The argument got really ugly between the two of them, and they went their separate ways. But the next day, Ralph went to his friends at the newspaper, and he put an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thought of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of thing. Well, Doc saw the ad and rebutted with, we're going to go to Duelers Alley. We're going to settle this, and somebody's going to die. All of this over an actress, by the way. I'd just like to point out how dumb shit was in the 1700s. Moving on. The two gents came down here back to back, took their 10 paces. They turned. Doc pointed his gun in the air. shot his one bullet. He did not want to kill his friend. Just needed the courage to show up. That's often what happened to duels, if you've ever seen Hamilton before. But Ralph has his one bullet still, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. So I know what you're thinking. We had the word knee that showed up over there. It's a little too far away for this whole story. I wouldn't expect him to be back there. But anyway, Doc didn't die. He fell to the ground. His friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He died 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Two things about that last statement. 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then. Secondly, he's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but obviously he failed because he died. Every ghost story tells you to listen for the whistles while we're here. We have basically 2 voice recorders going on and 3 cameras rolling. They all record audio. If we're going to get a disembodied whistle, more than likely going to come from one of those 5 devices. So it's not always going to be a naturally heard thing. But I am also going to tell you, based off of Ellie Rose's device, when I'm spot checking it, I can't tell you how many times I've come across the whistling part of a song and the word doctor immediately after from a commercial. Happens all the time. I'm never looking for it. By the way, all of my spot checking isn't me searching for things. It's minute 1, minute 5, minute 10, 15, 20. I'm not looking for anything. Whatever happens in that 1 minute is what I put in your notes. That's kind of how it rolls. So if you're going to try this on your own, I don't know how long you guys are going to be here in town, but if you walk all the way through here with your voice recorders from your phone, just remember that every local knows this damn story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley whenever we walk by it. It's just something we do here. I can't even drive by this alley without whistling. So let's talk about how I got kicked out, because Chris is really eager. That's what he's doing this whole time. The alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. So I have to give you a little bit of history first. The reason why I'm telling you that is because there was a wall about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. It was called Cow Alley. This is before Duelers Alley. We're going further back in time. Cows, goats, and chickens are down here, kind of like what you guys have now, right? So that means they started building the alley down there on Queen and came up this way over a few hundred years to what you're standing on today. Those bricks are obviously older, and they are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down in one of those bricks. And I used to take my groups down there for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that brick. That's the last place you're going to find that kid. He's not there. November 26th of 2020, my entire group of 10, about the same size as you guys almost, and they want to stop and huddle around the damn brick, waiting for something to happen with the gear I handle. Nothing's happening. I know nothing's going to happen, and I'm trying to shoo them along because we're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying to be respectful. I'm still new at this. I didn't realize we were out of bounds. The new owner of that mansion came out screaming his head off. My daughter was on the tour that night. She was about 14. She thought it was hysterical that Dad was getting yelled at right in front of her. She was all about it. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays, especially Thanksgiving. I used to work in upper management for Walmart before I started doing this. You guys fight over towels on Thanksgiving. You scarred me for life. I'm never working Thanksgiving ever again. The next day, the 28th of November, I called my partner that dragged me into tourism, and I told him what happened so I could figure out what to do next, because the rest of my route was past this alley. He laughed at me, and he said, well, you're not allowed to go down that far. Figure it out, and he hung up the phone. I went, well, damn it. So what I told my group that night, sold out again, Black Friday, tickets were way cheaper, and I told them, I don't believe in the next story. I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally tell you a pirate story next, but we've been kicked out of there too. They keep rezoning the city of places we're no longer allowed to be in. So, by the way, if I tell you we're going to be discussing pirates in Charleston, who's the first pirate you think of?
Blackbeard.
Right, thank you for not saying Jack Sparrow. What I did not tell them was who we were going to be investigating, but you would think it would probably be a Blackbeard story, right? No. Somebody heard the name Anne coming out of a spirit box before we left here. I didn't tell them it was going to be Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. So I was kind of like, well, damn it, maybe we'll get something. I took them up around the corner, and somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. Don't know what that means. I wrote it down. I go back and do the research. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720, the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. I normally get these kind of reactions, like, wow, that's actually pretty cool. No, it wasn't for me. Told you what all my degrees were in. I love research, and the problem with me is pirate stories all come from pirate lore. Pirate lore was written 100 years after the days of Blackbeard and Anne Bonny. Whenever you guys found something that could have been a piratey type of term, I had to read 3 textbooks and watch 4 documentaries to try to verify it. It was a lot of research. Lo and behold, I think I played every damn video game, and again, I think my entire library now is mostly pirate books. No, we can't even go over there anymore. So I had to replace the story quickly because I needed a new spot. So I started telling the story that all the other ghost stories tell. I just don't like the story because it's cursed to females. Then I found something else. We are going to be doing something else. So again, I hope people in the group like it is cursed to females. I don't like to tell the story. If you want to hear what it is, go to another ghost story. So that's kind of how it goes. And you guys did not tell me anything that told me that you guys heard things that were relevant to that story where I'm almost forced to tell it. So that's actually a
So
good
we
thing.
got a Madeline and an Avery.
And it got really red when it said
Madeline.
I don't know, but we are on the other side of a graveyard right now.
Okay.
So again, I'm not saying that graveyards don't have people in them. I'm just saying sometimes it's really, really hard to tell like what's going on. So I'll look at the records to see
Said
if there's a
Madeline,
pattern.
Avery, try Ryan.
So
But
there might
Madeline
and
is
Ryan could also be a last name.
really high.
So I'm gonna dive into all of those names for that graveyard and see what I got. But Avery could be more of a last name as well. So I'll dive into all of those since they're all consecutive. That's weird. It could be somebody's full name. Madeline Avery Ryan, for all we know. Any other words that showed up on there?
so weak.
So weak. It said Madeline, Avery, try Ryan, so weak.
Okay. Ellie Rose, did you hear anything on yours?
Oh, I haven't been listening to
Okay,
it.
and that's okay.
I
Yours is
listened to
recording. It's fine. I know I can hear yours around your neck. Any numbers?
Not yet.
Okay. And did you hear anything weird out of the ordinary?
No whistles.
No whistles. Does anybody want to give that thing a whirl before I pack it up? Because this is the only location that we use this device.
Every time the wind went by,
Yes.
like I got, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna watch the.
Super loud.
It's almost like listening to 8D music. So if you've ever
Yeah,
done that on YouTube,
who unzipped their jacket because it was so loud? I was like, I've never heard a unzip of a jacket that loud.
you can listen to it. We're gonna be
I
here for a
just
minute or
heard
two.
guns I'm holding.
Guns,
Oh, isn't that?
we're in Dueler's Alley. How this works. And I'll be honest with you, like last night was horrible. I broke out that voice recorder, and all of a sudden, like 5 tours come in behind us. So we had all of the noise, and then an alarm went off at the garage. Like it just.
I
got
heard
recorded.
like a music box, but I don't know.
Well,
or like a.
Laura's was around her neck with the headphone out, so you're probably gonna pick up on
And I
that.
heard a lot of like radio station stuff.
Yeah.
So. But I don't think that's anything.
Pretty crazy. Huh?
Really bad.
Anybody else? Any takers on this listening before I pack it up? No?
And I'm down to 1 bar battery, by the way, but I can turn it off for
Yeah.
application.
Yeah, you can actually turn it off now because we're going to swap out the light and battery, and we're actually going to go the opposite way. I know you guys are trying to check out the alley. Yeah, we're going to go out the way we came in.
Should we stop recording?
Yeah, you can.
Which way?
Something-
Church, and then it played church music,
Okay.
and then I heard water resistant. Oh, and I heard get out.
Yeah, I don't think that's the Hollywood crap. That's Amy's also.
We keep going down.
Wherever you want to go. Past that fire hydrant. Yeah, with your camera, I mean, you can, because the lens is right here, so you,
Okay.
as long as it's in between the 2 bars. Now yours is difficult here because
It's
there's a
like
lot of
great.
layers.
Yeah.
So the slower you move, the better off we'll be able to find anything. So if something pops up, I'll take screenshots and see what it is.
Okay.
We had some a few nights ago, but I kind of determined like it.
Discrimination.
I heard white trash
White trash.
and boo. Like boo. But not like the sound, just someone saying boo.
Like boo or boom? Like a
Boom. With an M.
got it.
I also heard extra, but I don't think that has anything.
That you know of.
That I know.
An extra boom.
I didn't put it on the list yet. It was before white trash.
But when I did like go through it, it turns out like it was like branches real close. We just
Yeah.
couldn't see them in the dark, so I had to brighten it up to see.
Yeah.
This is actually a great spot to zoom. So you can zoom into the back, but if you want to try to pull on the thing with the flashlight,
Oh, we're having to end the graveyard.
No, but I don't really want to.
I think it'd be cool.
You know what makes me sad about the graveyard in town?
What?
Oh?
out.
Supposed to work alone.
I think I'm picking up the graves.
This is Jackie. She's gonna steal my show. She's very friendly. So they filled in those tunnels in the 1990s, trying to hide that this was an actual thing.
Right.
So
Is something in the cat? I got some church stuff. I got Jesus Inquire.
Elliott's getting some church stuff too.
And I got Welcome and Out and I Want You Baby. But I think that was just a song.
It's not.
Oh God.
Okay, we'll see what else pops up because that's the story I don't like to tell.
Oh no.
People are coming.
They're gonna stop like right up there.
That was a nice.
It's a kitty cat.
That was a nice cat.
What are you doing? Did you see a head pop up online? Crying. Dropping and running. Oh, okay. I don't like that. I'm not gonna away from yours.
Did you just get random shivers?
You also didn't give me any phrases that kind of correlate with what Keegan heard. It's like when nobody does. So, Rose, where are you at with yours?
I got beautiful wall, hopes, I'll never see him again. That's what Dad would say. Beneath. Sorry. 1045. Narrow hole.
I like the word wall a lot, only because the original Charlestown walls are actually what Cumberland Street sits in. So we used to get that word all the time when we would investigate the Powder magazine because we would literally be right on the inside of the Charlestown wall. It's right there. So I'm not surprised that you got it here. I haven't heard it here in a while. So I'm just, I was kind of like, oh, okay, we'll take that one. But he has one baby. You guys don't have anything.
Baby was way after I won.
But still, I get the word baby is the only thing I'm focused on. So no matter what was before or after.
So I won.
I just saw something.
Okay, good.
Discrimination, lecture, media, bureaucrats,
But I freaked myself out, so I left.
Right now, we're gonna give this another minute just to kind of see like, if anything else is gonna come up on this thing. Yeah, you
It was like in the corner of the screen, came in like a full female
kind
frame.
of thing. I'm more focused on the word baby of the story that I don't want to tell.
He's over there. So go tell
The
him.
baby. So again, nothing else has popped up with it yet.
It was right over here.
Yeah. There's count. Although, like the words Justin Bieber don't count because these people don't know who the hell Justin Bieber is. It's about the lyric days. You've seen Transformers, right? Remember Bumblebee? He didn't have a voice.
Yeah, a little bit with air and everything in the sun.
So he used the radio to talk to us. That's how he communicated. Same thing.
I thought you could get a clean view.
Corey, anything
want to get a clean view right now. You want to?
I just heard Into the Fire.
Jack Wood.
There's a reason why my ticket prices are the way they are.
Can ghosts sense fear? Their mind just said fear.
For people. So,
She said she saw something.
saw something. On which camera?
This one.
When I heard
So can I see what you have? Because we caught something here the other day on your camera.
Yeah, it was in the last video that I stopped it just to make sure they didn't fish out and we lost it.
Okay.
But it like all went blue and then it looked like in the corner came in like a female form and then it disappeared and then the whole screen went completely blue.
Okay.
And then I got a little freaked out and I moved to the side of it and when I came back it's all red again. I got a little scared. It started walking towards me and I got a little scared.
I also have to check the.
I got Jack Wood. Is that a famous
I
person?
asked it to move towards me and it did and then I didn't want it to.
No, but I do like the name Jack for this location. We're getting a little bit of piratey stuff over here, which
I
is
just got the letter D.
interesting.
I got 7. When I look,
Oh, you guys are getting really good at this.
management and romantic.
Romantic management.
What?
Romantic management. So the other night, now it is a rarity that I captured.
Did I say I
We watched a blue anomaly in here. So just picture like a blue blob.
I think it said I love.
And we watched
What did
it
that say?
grow from temperature. It went from 36 degrees to 42 degrees in 27 seconds. Like, I was like, what's that? That's a rarity to find it, like, for that longevity of time. Especially since, we walked with
You and I?
What?
You and I?
I didn't hear it. I heard I love earlier. You and
You and
I.
I, yeah, you and I.
Oh, why would it repeat it too?
What?
It just said you
I
and
was
I
like,
twice.
I didn't hear it. She was like, you and I, and I was like, I didn't hear it, and it said, you and I louder, and I was like, oh.
Because she didn't hear it the first time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nothing else weird going on there. Seems to be normal. Where's our Corey? What do you got going on? Anything?
I'm not seeing like
Nothing massive. Because you're the focus here with that camera, because you can see the furthest
yeah,
into the
I'm looking.
cemetery.
I'm not. I mean, maybe it'll show up later.
Maybe. All right, lots of weirdness going on here. This spot's been.
I heard a child.
Is it the same thing with me?
But the other phrase, somebody heard something along the lines of like, "I'll never see you again." So that's kind of it's all.
Yeah,
that's-
I said I'll never see him again.
Yeah.
It was a him?
It's gonna make me run out of paper.
We can text you the notes if you want.
All right, let's get Laura over here. Corey, can you go grab Laura? We're gonna go back. She went up this way towards the other tour. Corner.
I can't understand this. It's coming too fast. I got Jesus at one point, and then
It's not an easy task. All right, let's go ahead and get you on mute. Cameras,
Thank
go ahead
you.
and hit your spot. When you get in there, there is a focus button.
Come on, come on.
Focus
Pump
button
it up.
right here at the top.
Y2K.
You'll be able to turn that in case it's blurry.
So are you saying?
Of course, you're gonna be non-stop. Henry, setting everything up still.
Highest authority.
Let's get into why we're here. Can you tell us what building this is? National what? It's gonna look like years, person before you change it. There you
So
go.
Stevie Smith.
Yeah,
My
TV.
two arms. Seen on board.
Henry, where are we? What building is this?
Yeah.
Henry Timrod. Got a lot of folks here that would like to hear from you.
Am I supposed to see anything?
Besides TV snow?
I don't see TV stuff.
Oh. Should have something.
Baby. I've heard baby twice.
Henry, did you want to talk about your son? That's a yes/no question.
I'm not getting anything.
Then take it off. Let's see what you got.
The girl who died.
Sent to live with family.
Turned off.
Now we're what again? Tax attorneys and licensed professionals.
She's almost too good at this. I should have split up this week.
Conversation we're having the other night.
Henry, you got the word baby. Do you want to talk about your son? That's yes/no
Medieval
question.
gown. Comfortable.
Breathing.
Confidential confrontation.
Henry, what about your breathing? You want to talk about your disease? I'm letting you lead the conversation tonight. I asked why we were here and what building this was. You
The
started.
bar started and getting.
Yes/no now.
Yeah, I guess not.
Henry, we're using the blue box too.
That's because he bought one.
So give us images tonight.
Into the hospital.
I'm dead.
Henry, why were you in the hospital?
I'm going there.
121st kill.
Don't know where she's going.
Sorry, I'm going over dates in my head for 21st.
There's a laser.
Henry, we're not at the hospital right now. Can you tell
Sweet
us
dreams.
what building we're at and why we would
French.
be here?
Doesn't know his parents.
What's inside this building, Henry? Why would we be here? This is Chris. He can see whatever you want us to see.
God's back.
Lose energy.
No.
Everything.
Henry, there's a lot of boxes out here you can use to communicate back to us.
Together.
We believe in Jesus and we pray.
Every-
Henry, where would we normally
Thing
find
to
you? Where would you normally find me and my groups to come and talk
Every
to you?
hour in the whole show today. I love that.
Henry, where would we
Exactly.
normally go to do this, to try to talk to you? For those that can hear me, that was Washington Park.
Doing the laundry.
Henry,
Tears.
I was starting to tear up.
Henry, can you give us an image so Chris doesn't fall asleep in there?
I had to cancel
My
that
right
meeting.
I missed what she said.
Giving me a crazy look like
Henry, you haven't told us anything yet to verify that you're here. I've asked,
kill it.
I've asked you a few random questions to see where you wanted to take the conversation to.
Hope you find love. I'm just a girl.
Henry Timrod,
Broken.
Bible we've seen in years.
this is the last tour that I'm doing this
Select
year.
Honda.
All right, pause there.
Also retweeting that story. You're not good enough.
Wow. Thanks, Henry.
Shiny bell.
Lonely.
What about the shiny bell? Didn't you have the name Michael on there?
Yes.
We,
Slowly.
Washington Park was next to St. Michael's, and the bells would go off, and I would always ask, like, Henry, tell us what we're feeling right now.
And now I wonder.
It was a few weeks ago when we started coming here.
Tells me exactly
It's
that.
one of the reasons.
One of the reasons why, Henry, you got to be detailed. You
When
know,
I'm
names,
Hilarious. 13.
you're
names,
the only
names, nouns, and numbers, Henry.
what we look.
Why are we here? What's inside this building? Could you just show us? Chris is gonna fall asleep.
We're looking at upper
I
left.
see like a lake, like a
All of the
water.
I've seen
What did she say, maybe?
2000 South Carolina.
I don't need that.
I'm still with
I
water.
don't mention.
Anything else specific about that water?
Comfortably.
Henry,
Why?
we got the word scholar on our little word box here. Can you tell us about that?
She just said 2000 South Carolina.
It must look like there's a fire by the water.
Henry met his wife. She was one of
Be
his
back and
students.
forth.
He was a school teacher in Florence, South Carolina.
Brigade goes.
Wrinkles.
She was only 16 when he met her.
It was like a
Of my head.
It's
even
a
lyrics.
stretch. But I don't know where this
Even
lake
the station.
fires. Henry, let's get back to the scholar.
Forever.
Can you tell
Athlete.
us your
Daniel.
other... Slow down,
Daniel.
Henry.
Food.
Let's see, Katie
Holly?
was,
An album
What
called
part?
short for Kathleen. Not Kathleen. Henry.
Go On.
Before you told me to pause, now you want me to go on. Henry, we're at this building for a specific reason. What is inside this
That was
building?
our
What's in a
last.
name, Mama?
I would like to find out.
I wake up feeling lousy.
Do you know those lyrics of the song?
The studio went over in the sedan.
The ups.
Henry, we're running out of time. It's been about 8 minutes already. We got 2 minutes to go.
January 6th.
Doing this very subtle things that don't really tie together.
Lee markers and there'll be odds and ends. The city.
Leave your heart.
Henry,
Work.
tell us about what's inside the building. Or throw us another
I'm
image.
hesitating.
Why are you hesitating? We're running out of time.
Slow affection.
Henry, can you give us another image before we
You
wrap this up?
find. I'm sorry.
You try,
Cassidy movie.
try really hard to try to give us another image
CNN.
of what's inside this building.
I lose my mind.
Would you rather see us at the park?
I'm out of the house. 0 published award winner.
When I fly away.
The God of her father. Directions.
And I appreciate you giving us a little bit of recognition. Henry, I can't control everything.
Starfly.
Exactly.
Or
20.
Snare.
I don't want to tell.
What? Okay, so don't ask about 24.
Right.
I'd rather talk about your work. We got about a minute left. Tell us what else is inside this building.
That's all. No order. You won't see me.
Nichols. So many great gifts.
Henry, I'm going
They
to
get to you.
a small appreciation for the little subtleties you've given us, considering nothing happened last night. Can you tell us good night?
You.
Sail away.
Advertising.com.
Drive.
Louisa.
Sail away, then what? Something.
Make this man strong.
Henry. Going twice. Last chance to tell us good night or give us an image.
He starts battling. Say your prayers.
All right, Henry. Thank you very much, sir. I will see you in a few days.
Look up.
Now what?
Grace from
I will stay.
See where, Henry?
we have a bigger audience.
We do. More people tonight. Henry, why you gotta start this right as we're...
They're turning real fast.
I do give
Now
you...
available everywhere.
Faces can break.
Okay, Henry. Good night. I will see
That's
you
what I like.
in a few days. In January.
But Jesse,
Alright, let's go ahead and tap the ladies out. First peel that thing off the face. Let's kind of see what we got going on there.